Oh, what's going on, guys? Just a quick, I guess, comparison video here. I made one before for the Amazing Spider-Man 1 and Amazing Spider-Man 2. I think it's just fitting to make another video. This time it's Amazing Spider-Man 2 and the Homecoming Spider-Man. So I got the two versions of Homecoming Spider-Man, as you can see here. The tech suit version, which is the popular one. It also comes in the deluxe version, and also I also get the homemade suit version, although it's not technically, I mean, it's still Spider-Man, but not as popular, I guess, as the first two. And before that, the Spider-Man to have was obviously this Spider-Man right here on your left, which is the Amazing Spider-Man 2. It's still a beautiful figure, but you know, we'll see. Right now they're both, I believe, sold out. This guy, I believe you can still pre-order the deluxe version at Big Bad Toy Store. This one has been long sold out. This guy has been, but the homemade suit version is still out there. I'm gonna put the link down below. But hopefully this video helps you out in picking
And let's jump into
right
accessories.
Spider-Man
This is the
for you.
accessories for the Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I do apologize in advance for the audio. The audio for this clip just crapped out, so I'm recording this in a different segment. So as you can see, the hands are a bit different from the Homecoming version. Comes with magnets. I don't see it being applicable to the Homecoming, because the reason why they use magnets on this one is because they eliminated the joints on the wrist. They made it seamless, which works pretty well. However, on the Homecoming, it's not necessary because he has the web shooter to cover the joints, so you can actually take off the entire hand. As you can see, he also comes with a few webs. The Homecoming obviously has more. It has more unique webbing as well. He also comes with a backpack, like a JanSport type. This vest that is pretty cool. It's nicely tailored. Kind of looks like Marty McFly vest here. So if they didn't release one, I guess this would help for custom purposes. Got some bullhorn, some what do you call this, scarf, and the beanie hat, which is cool accessories. But in reality, how often are you really going to display Amazing Spider-Man 2 with all these accessories? You won't. So most likely they would stay in the box. You probably would use them once for a photo op, maybe twice, but that is pretty much it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm glad that they included it. I guess they can't include anything anymore, but I would rather have a head sculpt rather than this. But they went a different way. Obviously on Amazing Spider-Man 1 they did that, and I thought the head sculpt was pretty strong then. It also comes with this dynamic base, which in the if you do get the exclusive version, you can replace this. This is only a box, a cardboard box that you can take in and out, and then it comes with this extra plutonium, I guess, canister, which is, there's only one. So now let's jump into the Homecoming version for the Spider-Man, and this is more, I would say, more useful accessories. He got the wings, which is again, it's a pretty nice concept because it's magnetized, and it's actually pretty useful compared to the beanie and whatnot. And as far as the webbing, you can see now he has this kind of bent web that he can hold, and so that's an improvement. But then again, there's at least a couple of years gap in between releases, so you can definitely expect some improvements from Hot Toys, although the price, I believe, is pretty much the same. So that's kind of amazing right there. The end of the web, he does have that alongside the homemade suit version. The eyes are awesome because you can replace them. They're magnetized. However, I do have some complaints about it, but that's for another topic. I wish they were kind of like Deadpool, but they're not. But it's okay. He comes with a different web shooter for no reason. Some headphones that are really cool. Unmask mask. That's a nice way of saying it. And this amazing head sculpt of I was about to say Tobey Maguire, but yeah, this amazing head sculpt of Peter Parker, which is a bit different to the Homecoming version. There's no battle damage. It comes with the backpack, and also you can see that Science Today book that he does have when he was in school. So just comparing the backpack of the two, I wouldn't really call one better than the other because they're two different ones. The stand, I actually like this stand. It's a space saver. I wish it was kind of like Visions, where you can take it off and replace it with just the normal stand, but they didn't. One thing I do like about it is they replaced the nameplate. They could have easily just used the same nameplate for this and Homecoming, or also the design, but they separated it. It's a nice different approach there. But overall, I would pick this over the Amazing Spider-Man 2 any day of the week because of the extra head sculpt, the empty mask, and also the wings itself. Already a no-brainer. Now this is the Homecoming version. They also come with the same type of webbing, so there's no difference there whatsoever. He also comes with the end of the web, which is a bit bigger. Comes with a few hands and some eyes. Not a whole lot of eyes, but some eyes for his mask. This is a bit cheaper than the tech suit version, but not by a lot. Only by, if I'm not mistaken, $15, which is nothing in the 1/6 world. If you buy a bootleg head sculpt, that's probably how much it's going to cost you, if not more. No, I'm going to say if not more, definitely more. This one's a bit battle damaged. I actually like this head sculpt better because of the eyes looking straight up than the tech suit version, but that's just me. It also comes with these extra mask, the unmasked, but it has holes in its eyes, which is kind of strange. So this one doesn't come with a backpack, a book, or headphones. That by itself is already $15, if not more. It also doesn't come with wings, but not only that, it's more intricate. The eyes, does change, but by a large margin. But you can see the stand is a bit different too. The stand is pretty cool because you can actually pull down the waist grabber. Now, as you can see here, this is a good, kind of like big comparison between the two. Obviously, the tech suit version comes with a lot more, bang for your buck. See the head sculpt right there, empty mask and all that stuff. So if I have to choose for bang for my money, it's this one right here. It's plastic, that wings right there. So I don't know how to explain, but for $15, definitely, if you can, I would go for the tech suit version, because I'll give the point to that because of the amount of accessory it does come with, and also his overall suit is different from the homemade suit version, so that by itself should warrant $15 more by itself, but it also comes with much more accessories.
Alright, I was talking about head sculpt. In my opinion, he has the strongest head sculpt, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Followed obviously by the Homecoming version. The last one would be, the homemade suit version. This is more of a made-up suit, so I didn't really expect anything more. But between the two, this one has a bit of an issues. As you know, anyone who's been following Hot Toys knows that for some reason there's like a tape on top of his head, and I think this happens to everyone, and then it just starts getting dark. I don't know if you can see it from this angle for this video, but yeah, you see that? It just happens to every single one. So, you can't really stop it or prevent it, or, you can do whatever, you seem fit, but it would still show up. As far as the Homecoming version, it's a fairly new release, so we don't know if that's actually going to happen. Although I doubt it because it's a different material. It's more of a rubbery texture in here, so it's a bit thicker. But at the same time, it's a bit harder to pose, this guy, compared to the Amazing Spider-Man 2 version. Now, if we're just talking about being true to Spider-Man form, and I'm being totally honest here, I actually like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 better. As far as looks, even though he's a bit skinny for my taste, I think this is more bulkier, the homemade version. I mean, not the Homecoming version. As far as overall look, the design, the way it, the eyes, I just feel like he's better. the Amazing Spider-Man 2. Now, that doesn't mean this is a pushover by any sort of imagination, because it's a great looking figure, and as I mentioned earlier, value wise, you would get more value for him than him. So if we're talking about that, if I have to recommend something, this would be the guy. But if you're asking for overall look, this is where I'm headed towards. Amazing Spider-Man 2. Even though a lot of people didn't like the movie per se, I didn't mind it. I actually didn't hate it. As a matter of fact, I did like the movie. I'm even gonna go as far as saying I did like the movie. And now with this guy, I know he's getting pushed aside a lot because he's not a Spider-Man figure, but it's still a nice looking figure, and he's cheap. He's the cheapest one out of the three, I would say, and also the most unique one. But it's hard to judge because we got these two guys right here who's more of a traditional Spider-Man look. Alright, so as far as articulation, they're both pretty much movable, to a degree. I would say the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a little bit more versatile when it comes to moving. As you can see there, you can fold his arms, extend the legs. You can even take out one of his legs, and there's no fear because you just pop it right back in. There's ankle joints right there. There's waist movement. There's head movement as well. Shoulders you can pop right there, but there's no fear that you are gonna break a joint because it's just like a standard body. And also the suit, I don't know if you can see it clearly here, but it's made out of fabric, and it's a different fabric. It's not, how do I describe it? It kind of reminds me of the Man of Steel, but in a more flexible way, not sticky, because you have this Vision kind of like sticky kind of fabric. With him, it's not really. So in a sense, it's more, I would say you can pose him around, and I've seen reports where this is where I'm kind of gonna give him a little bit of points here, because it's been 2-3 years since it's released, and people have posed him in a more dynamic pose, and there were reports, not from me, that once you put him back in the neutral position, the suit kind of heals itself and goes back to its original form. Now, I don't know if the same can be said about this figure, because if I move him around, I don't know if you heard that. I'm gonna put it on the mic. That is when I'm moving around his joints. So it's ratchet. So technically it's a good thing, because it's you can, meaning the joint is more, I would say, stronger. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but the material used, this is fabric as well, the red part. The blue part is kind of like rubbery. I'm not saying this is worse than Amazing Spider-Man 2, but Spider-Man 2 just feels like, just by doing the touch test, more durable as far as material is concerned. Seems more flexible. So I don't know. But make no mistake about it, it's still fully poseable. Now, if you want somebody just that's really poseable, I would suggest you go with that guy. Now, if your intention is to get your Spider-Man and pose him around, like dynamically as a display, and not just taking pictures, because both of these guys, like this guy too, if you want to put him on a more dynamic pose, you could. You are. It's not like it's Batman Begins stiff, or somebody like Electro stiff. They're not stiff at all. You can move them around. I just don't suggest putting him in the same position for a long period of time, because I just feel like eventually they'll take damage in the suit. But this guy right here, if your intention is to pose him around, and leave him there for a long time, this is the guy. You put him kneeling, jumping around, climbing up the walls and all that stuff, and you'll be alright. Because of the nature of his suit, it's cotton, so there's no fear whatsoever, none. So if you are, just trying to get a nice display option, and want to leave him there, you can fulfill your fantasy using this guy. These guys are mostly for pictures. You want to pose him in a climbing pose. Go ahead, put his arms up. You see that once you put the arm up, you have stress on the shoulders right away, and it's fine because typically when you put it back, it heals itself back, like it goes back to its original form. I just don't know how long it'll last, so I'm, for the most part, leave both of my Spider-Mans in a neutral pose like this. Alrighty, so there you have it, guys. The 3 Spider-Man figure in my collection, and I'm really happy to have all of them there. Now, as you can see here, the Amazing Spider-Man 2 is a tiny bit taller than both of them. I guess it's not even how they stand. I think it's just he's a little bit taller. He's also noticeably a little bit thinner on the thinner side, but then again, it's Spider-Man, so he's a bit thin. He's a little bulky, more muscular. This one, homemade suit version, is kind of like in the same avenue there. Although I would say more comic book look, he's a bit more out there because of the muscles and all that stuff. Although this guy right here is more lankier, so I don't know, it kind of just captures Spider-Man for me. The eyes, the webbing, all that stuff. Just does it for me for some reason. Now, if you are just gonna buy one Spider-Man for your collection, this one is already sold out. Even though if you click the link down below on Big Bad Toy Store, you can still pre-order the deluxe version for Big Bad. I believe in Sideshow he's already gone, but in Big Bad I believe you can still pre-order him. Now, this guy is still available on Big Bad, so he's in stock. This guy's been long sold out, the Amazing Spider-Man 2, but you can purchase it on eBay. The only downside is, like I said, you're gonna get this staining on the head. It's bound to happen, even if you buy him new. Once you take him out, once the glue has died out or something, it's gonna get dry. And I mean, it's not that bad, to be quite honest with you. I'm gonna pick him up. So if you find like a good deal on eBay, it's this one right here. So is it noticeable? Perhaps, but doesn't really bother me. It's bound to happen. Whatever, if you buy it brand new in box or used, it's just, it's just there. So if you snag this on Big Bad if you pre-order him for $250, I think it's a good price. However, so I like his design better, but I think it's the design is more of a preference. So some guys might prefer this. I prefer him personally, but if I have to recommend, I would recommend him if you want to buy Spider-Man right now. However, in the long run, if you are an actual collector, that you love Spider-Man, I believe that what you would regret for not picking up is him, the homemade suit version. And why is that? He's arguably the worst looking out of the 3. The other 2 is actual Spider-Man. He's more of a made up Spider-Man. But in my opinion, this is not the last Spider-Man we're going to see from Tom Holland. We're probably going to see 2 more movies, if not more. He's an amazing Peter Parker, in my opinion. But he would serve like the Batman Begins, like the figure. And he was gone and everyone wants it. Because guess what? It's not coming back. Maybe it'll come back, him, wearing this kind of suit for nostalgic reasons. But you're always going to revert to his first suit, like his original suit, the beginning, the genesis of Tom Holland Spider-Man. Because guess what? He's going to have more suits. It's probably going to be different than this suit. He's going to have, several different variations. But it always comes back to the homemade suit version. And once, he takes off, I believe this would cost a lot of money down the line, because I don't think Hot Toys or you would see this again, that they would make this or even revisit this in the movie. So that's just an opinion. Obviously, I could be wrong, because this guy, I've seen him in the previews of Infinity War. So, knowing Hot Toys, they might re-release this, even though we've seen the Iron Spider. So it is possible when it comes to Hot Toys that they would release one of this again. This guy right here, I mean, I would say he's just a bonus. If you can get him for a decent price, and by decent, I mean anything under 200, if it's less, even better, then go grab it. It's a good looking suit. If you are a big fan of Spider-Man, I skip the Tobey Maguire version. I think it's just showing its age now. But with him, it's not. It's more recent. He has pretty good hands. The magnetic version. I actually like that feature. They're not applicable to both of the Spider-Mans because they have this gauntlet sort of a thing, so it does hide the joint. Compared to him, he doesn't have any. So I just like the look of seamless and everything like that. But like I said, if you just want to have one right now, this guy in the middle is the way to go. But what you would regret down the line if you don't pick him up, I believe, is the homemade suit version. So thank you for watching, guys. I hope this helps you out in this comparison with Spider-Man. If you're planning to buy one, I hope it made some sense what I just said now. If you're a big Spider-Man fan, get the guy in the middle, or get all of them if you could. If not, the one in the middle would be the way to go. As right now, it's April 2018. It's probably still available, the deluxe version. Thank you for watching. Please, like my videos. Give me the thumbs up, or if you have any thoughts or comments, please leave them down below. If you want to purchase any of this figure, at least the last two Homecoming, head over to Big Bad Toy Store. Follow me on Instagram. I'll put the link down below, and also on Facebook. Put some pictures in there all the time, and I'll see you in the next review.